Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Beyond the Belief podcast. I'm your host, Lavender Loveway. With each episode, I invite you personally to join me as we explore a belief. It might be a widely held idea or a forgotten truth, or perhaps even one that feels unknown or deeply contested. This is a sanctuary for exploration, a place to absorb, listen, and learn with an open heart. We're shedding the heaviness of right and wrong and ascending into the lightness of greater connection and expansive knowledge. Today's episode is no exception. This is another precious opportunity to find a little gem or two of wisdom that helps you reweave your own tapestry of truth. Trusting the sliver. Never thought I'd be saying this in a video. My guides recently shared with me how little, so imagine a sliver, how tiny, how absolutely tiny of a perspective of everything that's happening at every facet of every part of now. We are not only privy to, but also able to even ingest a sliver, a fractal, a small, tiny, tiny little part. And our mind, our human mind, demands, I don't know about y'all's, but mine definitely demands to know the whole plan, to know what's happening, to know where I'm going, to why I'm going, how I'm going, the speed in which I'm going. Every little tiny piece of detail and information, the entire picture is what my human mind wants to know. And as I was channeling the other day, I was inquiring to my guides, why does our mind do this? Why does our human mind even attempt to try to understand the bigger picture? When the bigger picture could probably never even be able to be corralled or pulled together into one space at any given moment. It's massive. And as they started to expand on my question, they first shared this. It is true. You, your body, your brain might have the capacity to hold it all, but it is your mind that cannot hold and understand the entire picture of what you planned for this incarnation. And as I heard that, I was like, holy cow, I never even thought about the receipt of those things. You know, it's like the TPS reports, right? If you're going to get a 500-page report, sure, you can send it to me in a box in the mail, sure. But let's say this report is like 29,000 pages. Could they just FedEx that to you? Probably not. Or if they did, holy cow, how expensive would that be? It would be better to somehow transfer it digitally and then print it out or something. And yes, shameless plug for Office Space. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Just gonna say, I digress. So understanding not only the information that we're desiring to receive, but where can we actually put it? I had heard Dolores Cannon say multiple times, if everything of who we are even came into our body, it would explode. We cannot hold, or it cannot be at home in our physical capacity. It's just not even possible. As the channeling session moved forward, they started talking about how often we're trying to receive this information because we're trying to fix something ourselves. And I don't know about you, but that hit me right in the heart. I was like, okay, yep. Because oftentimes I'm not asking for this information just out of pure curiosity. It's because I want to know how and why and where and what, and then I want to analyze it. Hello, ego. Yes. Hey, girl. But they expanded on this with something even more unbelievable. They shared, you cannot solve a metaphysical problem with a human brain, with a human mind, with consciousness in its human form. You cannot. It must be broader. It must be bigger. So here's the confirmation that we literally can't. So even our brain and our mind and our consciousness and these elements of who we are, we can't. It's not even possible for us. Yet we still seek it. But For me, I will admit, since hearing this, when I start to think about or start to analyze things, I remind myself of this. That even if I were all systems a go, every single resource I have, let's see if we can solve this, I wouldn't be able to. I physically cannot. It's not even possible. And as the channeling session continued, they then shared that we are really only designed to see just a sliver. Here's what they said. You are only able to see a small, small sliver, a small, small section. And that section changes. It rotates. There are different positions, different perspectives. I'm like, holy cow. It's almost like I am given this beautiful gift to understand that even these moments where we're at ground zero, here in our human, we are at ground zero. We do not have any sort of perspective unless we seek that out. But us ourselves with our equipment, we don't have a lot of perspective. It's literally just what's in front of our face, what's just right beyond our nose. And to understand that we are actually designed to only see this small part, which we feel is the whole world. Ooh, talk about perspective. I suddenly was like, oh my gosh, how big is it? They went on to say, you cannot know. You cannot see the entire picture at one given moment. You only can catch the glimpses, the slivers of the picture. So then this, for me, then set into kind of reality that even if we were shown the full picture, even if we could see the whole thing, we can't. We can't know it. We can't see it. At any given moment, we cannot. And again, because we're designed this way, we can only catch the glimpse, or basically the sliver of the whole picture. So the first thing I want to share and hopefully offer some sort of calm and clarity is that we cannot see it. We are not designed to see it. We cannot understand it. We cannot know. So we don't need to seek that. We don't need to go there. We don't need to push. We don't need to hit our head against the wall because we're trying to see the bigger picture and we're trying to solve these things. Literally, we're trying to solve them. And of course, immediately my ego goes to, well, this sucks. This is very limited. Why am I being limited in my scope? I should be able to see anything. And this is when I say, yes, I know, ego. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I understand your perspective. Allow me to be inquisitive. Let me see what else I can uncover. And this led me straight to the heart of this is intentional. This means it is a sacred design. This is not a limitation, but instead a divine gift of focus. And in that slight reframe, my dear ego sat down, but I also had an opportunity to begin to contemplate. What does this mean? It's almost like it's a gift of the focus of our consciousness because we are so detailed in what we see and experience. And we feel it. We're like, I see everything, which we don't. Do you remember every tree you saw on your drive home last night? No, there's so many details. But imagine if this is only a sliver of the whole picture. Holy cannoli. Like, how could we ever see it? I don't even know. And maybe, who knows, at some point we will. But they go on to share this. Because your full consciousness is very vast, it is very broad and big, and you cannot focus on all of it at the same time, or you would explode. That is true. Holy cow. So everything I'm seeing thus far, and this is the message that's kind of being also downloaded to me right now. Thank you, guides. Everything is just so vast. There's so many possibilities. Literally nothing is impossible. It is big. The picture is big. Our consciousness is big. Our souls are big. The love we can experience is big. I mean, everything is so big. And we are being gifted being here on earth to only have this small sliver, this just little picture, this little piece of the picture so that we can fully experience it. Because imagine if we had all this stimuli, all this information, all this stuff, it would be so massive that we probably couldn't even appreciate it. So again, this perspective of just a slight shift changes everything. And they went on to expand that essentially think of this vast picture as the macro. Yet we are blessed to be able to get nose deep into the micro, into the smaller details, into the littlest of details. Can you imagine if we were only able to see this sliver, yet I'll look at my dog and see its little tiny hairs. If we're only seeing just a small part, it just puts things into perspective and allows the ability to see. But I will humbly admit, this is when the reality, let's say, of the feelings of this whole scenario, whole situation comes into play. This is not easy. This is not. It is challenging. And it is most challenging because we think that we're dealing with the macro when we're dealing with ourselves and the challenges and whatever we're navigating on a daily basis. We think we're dealing with the macro, but we're actually not. We're dealing with the micro. And it can feel so deeply challenging that it weighs heavy on us. And my guides spoke to this. They shared, it is a lot of faith and a lot of belief, because the travel between these slivers can be challenging, can be taxing, can be doubtful, and cause the degree of confusion. It absolutely can. And this acknowledgement of how challenging it is, this is when I knew in my heart as I continued to channel that they were about to share the gateway, the doorway, the light in that we kind of found the darker corner of the picture. And so they started to walk me through basically the shifting of the unknowable macro picture to the absolutely empowering micro picture that we exist in. They first shared, so instead, what is critical in this moment of now is to focus on your micro perspective. Focus on what is in your lens. Do not worry. Do not fret. Do not concern yourself with any other sliver, any other section, any other part that is not relevant at this time. So my first thought is, here we are. We are arriving at simplicity. We are arriving at a place of, yes, this is what it is. You are seeing that it is challenging. But first you must focus. And part of focus is to release, is to allow, is to surrender. We are gifted. We are blessed with the micro perspective. Yes, from a strategic standpoint, if you want to see it from that perspective, if we could see the whole vast picture, we could allow our ego to run around it and get its mind around it so we could get our human confidence around it. But even if, and I see it this way, even if we were able to ingest the entire macro picture, would we have enough ability and, dare I say time, or dare I say energy to then navigate it? There's probably so much to even ingest and analyze. We'd be analyzing for probably half of our existence here. And I don't say that lightly. So we are blessed to be able to focus. And this is the key. By focusing, we are releasing, we are allowing. They go on to give a metaphor, which they know I love. I love a good metaphor because if I can see something, again, shift my perspective and see it and run its course through something else that might not be related, it's empowering. So here's what they shared. A day is a sliver in the picture of your calendar year. And you do not look at the whole entire year and try to ingest the entire year at the exact same moment. It would be almost impossible. So instead, it is imperative that you focus on your sliver. Focus on being in the moment of now, in the present moment, taking the sliver all in. How incredible. And it's true. How many times have you heard that us, and it could be even you if you want to throw yourself in there, us as humans, we fail at yearly goals, annual goals. I feel like that's one of the most common, it's New Year's, I'm going to make my New Year's resolutions. Because trying to ingest the whole year, but imagine trying to experience the whole year right now. Like all the moments, all the feelings, all the emotions, all the stuff just right now. It would be near impossible. And we are blessed that we have this year that we get to engage in each day and see it on a more granular level, almost compartmentalizing so that we can maximize each individual moment. And I know I'm using a time analogy, but thank you guys for using a metaphor that makes sense. That if we were to try to ingest the whole thing, it's just not possible. But this is where the true magic key lies. We do not have to navigate the sliver alone. The hyper ascended path is partnership. We focus on the sliver and our guides handle the rest. So essentially that macro picture you can execute too without having to see the full macro picture, because you have a team of guides who see it and follow it and keep tabs on it and basically keep it architected with everyone else's guides. Sometimes I sit there and imagine how beautiful would it be if for one moment all the lights turned on and we can see all the guides around us. Can you imagine what it would be like being in a football stadium with 30,000 people and suddenly seeing all their guides? I feel like that would be like Christmas. But we have teams of guides that help us, empower us, can see the fuller picture. They see it. We don't actually have to. We want to because we feel we can do something about it. But my guides have already shared we can't. We physically can't. It's impossible. And we're also blessed that we don't have to see it. It's just about allowing. They go on to reiterate about allowing. Allow us to focus on those for you. For you. So by the time that it is time for you to go to a different sliver, you can. And it is already upgraded. It is already focused. Holy cow. Did not even think about this. Not only allowing them to guide you on what you're doing in your current sliver or whatever the current sliver is that you can see, but because you're allowing and not interfering and trying to see the macro picture so that you can alter it and fix it in whatever way you think you're going to. Instead, they have full purview so that they can set things up for success for you. That they're already upgraded, already focused. Y'all, I don't know about you, but this gave me such a sense of relief. We are so loved. We are so loved that our guides are willing to anticipate what's necessary and needed and to help things be executed to what we planned out before we even got here. It is so powerful. And here was the magic. I know that they were saying this and sharing this for me because this is something I'm definitely challenged with, shall we say? But I can't imagine that I'm the only being that's challenged with this. So hopefully this is helpful as well. They went on to say, it is not relying on your human to do all of the navigation, which will keep you in a slower ascended path. The hyper ascended path is partnering with your guides. Instead, you must allow, you must release, you must listen as your guides can see the full picture. And there it is, mic drop. We cannot rely on our human. And I don't know about you, most of the time my ego is wanting to see the full picture because she wants to make it go faster, because she wants to make it happen, because somehow she thinks she can do it better. She thinks she can see all the things and do all the things. And if I only knew, then guess what? It'll all be okay. But this is proving, like, there it is. If I allow her to do that, I am on the slower ascended path, which is not where I want to be. Not saying that I want to be on a rocket ship to the sky like my current life experience is right now, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I want to be on the optimized path. I want to be on a path where I am pulled by this gorgeous flow and current to exactly where I'm supposed to be, and instead be guided by my team of guides who I know I've mentioned in previous episodes are kind of like our executive team who are seeing things, moving things out of the way, doing things like they are empowering us. So all I must do is listen to my guides to see the full picture. I can do that. And funny enough, when I think about my ego, they also gave me a little task for my ego. You are like the boots on the ground, the tactical boots on the ground for the specific task in front of you on that specific day, in that specific sliver. So all I'm doing is I'm looking at the things that I set out, my intentions for each and every moment, is to assign those tactical boots on the ground things to my ego, because that is what they do the best. Anything execution, they are stellar. To know that this further empowers me also to empower my ego. Wow. This is so powerful. And as I wrap up this beautiful message for this moment of now, they did the same for my channeling experience message by sharing with me this profound truth. Despite all of this and crazy, amazing pathways of truth, they left me with one additional piece of information. That the magic, the absolute magic of your life experience is birthed in the togetherness of this partnership. So imagine, we know, and I've spoken in past episodes, that us working with others is where the magic is. Us doing things alone, we can't do it. We have to do it with others. But to think that this not only applies to those who are here in this gorgeous experience with me, but also those guides that are behind the veil, also in this current experience with me, but at a totally different vantage point, at a totally different perspective. So now you're saying that I have the ability to connect with those most immediately around me and behind the veil? And that this is where magic is birthed? Oh, my goodness. It is absolutely overwhelmingly beautiful to think how loved we truly are. They shared, it is the partnership that excels, the partnership that creates magic. And I don't know about y'all, but I love magic. Magic is the thing that warms my heart. Imagine when you see a shooting star and you didn't expect it and you just looked up there and there it is and it's so beautiful and you just feel so honored because you got to experience it, you got to see it. I want to be where the magic is. And they anchored it with this. It is not conceived alone by yourself. In each individual sliver is not where it is conceived. It is conceived together, working in harmony with other beings, and then it is birthed due to the faith and the belief. Because the togetherness is what is required. The togetherness is where the magic is birthed. It is conceived between beings. As I'm sure you can relate on this beautiful perspective that giving life, creating life, let's say having a child, is conceived between two beings. It is creation. It is life. And to see that this same rule, the same guideline, the same perspective applies here. That the things that are birthed, the magic that is birthed, is conceived between beings. So whether they are around us physically in our 3D or they are behind the veil, we are able to birth magic through each and every connection. We just must allow. And as you contemplate this message, may this be an invitation to think about who in your 3D experience can you better partner with, better listen to, better connect with, to identify the magic. And those guides that are on the other side of the veil, how can you continue to open your heart to them even more? Ask them for support. Ask them to help come down into your body more so you can feel them and experience them. I will tell you, it's one of the most magical experiences of my entire life experience. Being able to connect with these beings is unreal. It is unreal. It is pure magic. And to think that that's where magic is birthed, is between us, is conceived between beings, it's humbling. It's very humbling. So thank you, and I want to send this message off with so much love and light. Thank you for being here so that this magic could be birthed. This magic of connection, this magic of understanding, this magic of message from my guides, that together, each and every single one of these video messages that I share with y'all, they're from my heart. And this is where magic is birthed. It is conceived between beings. I value you as a community member. I value you as a viewer. And I'm so very grateful to be here with you in this gorgeous moment of now. May the magic continue to be birthed. And may you continue to conceive between all of the beings that surround you.